Hey everybody, it's Ryan with Ryan Industrial. This is week 3 of my garden and video 3 of how to grow a garden, veggie garden at home. So I'm just going to go over a little update of what my garden's doing, and then one thing that I've been having to keep an eye on is watering. How much water to put in the ground due to the climate and just reading your plants. So let's take a look at the garden first. The area that I seeded, I watered on a daily basis. I was watering in the morning at first, and come to find when I got home from work, the ground was extremely dry. So I was worried about the seeds really keeping moist on for a long amount of time. So what I ended up doing is transferring that to watering it in the evening. That allowed it all evening and night to keep the seeds damp, and then once the sun hit them in the morning, really hit them with nice warm soil. And I got the cucumber here. Those within 5 days were already out of the ground, as well as the cucumber here. I thinned that out, as well as the sweet pea. So now I'm watering in the evening. As for the carrots, I'm definitely getting some sprouts. I don't know how well you can see it. They have very small once they first start coming out. But as you can see, they're starting to come out nicely. I will have to thin them out once they get a little larger. You want to space them enough to where at least they can carrots width apart, I guess, if you want to say. Then I have some miscellaneous seeds popping up here and there that we dropped, and I'm just going to let them keep going. But as you can see with the soil here, you can see it's still a little bit damp. This is perfect. It's easy to move between your fingers. It's not clumping together. That's going to allow those seeds to really blast through, develop good root systems. So it looks dry on the top, but what you want to do is get to your soil and actually dig down a little bit. If it's wet within the first inch, then I'm on the right path for my watering cycle. So I'm watering once a day in this area in the evening. So I had to make some adjustments going off of reading the soil, and so that's what you're going to need to do to determine your watering cycle. As for the other plants over here that I bought that were already plants, they're doing extremely well, but you're going to want to keep an eye on them. When you see them, you're going to want to notice new growth at the top. You're obviously going to slowly watch them increase in size, and I used the rings on the tomato cage. These were below the rings. Now they're almost above this ring. And while you're watching the plant, you're going to want to make sure that they got good color, evenly colored. And once it gets to like this spot here, like these limbs are sort of being pressured, you can go ahead and sort of comb them up, bring them up to allow good placement. And these are there for the fact once the tomatoes start growing extremely heavy, they need this or the limbs will break. So watch your plants and just keep an eye on them. You're gonna have to watch them daily. So that's what farmers, I guess, got to do. And with these beds, I noticed with the straw, it really holds the moisture in to where this is almost muddy. So I don't water these on a daily basis. I was watering them on a daily basis, and it was just like mud. And that's actually going to really make the soil a lot more difficult, compact, if you want to say. So watch your soil, and if it's this wet, you don't need to water. Wait till it starts to dry out. These areas here with the onions and stuff, I watered last night, so they're just fine. But keep an eye on what your plants are doing. Don't want to overwater. If the soil is damp, don't water. Wait a day. You can buy a electronic gauge. I've got one at the patio I'll show you before the video's over. You can probe the soil and it'll tell you if it's wet, if it's dry, or whatever. You don't want to necessarily go dry, and you don't necessarily want to go over water because it can harm the plant. So just keep an eye on the soil. If it feels wet and it feels like it's doing its job, then don't water. Pass a day up. And in the desert, you know, once it starts hitting 105, 110, I sometimes even have to water twice a day. So keep an eye on the soil, keep an eye on your plants, how the leaves and everything's looking evenly colored. If you overwater, then it could lead to the plant dying. And if it starts to yellow, or the leaves start to all bend down like it looks like it's in shock, then if your soil is super damp, then you need to cut back your watering, and quickly, because it can actually harm the plant. This is this moisture meter I've got. This thing's probably 20 years old, but all you do is just stick it in the soil and it'll tell you where you're at. So I'm perfect. I'm actually on the high side, so I probably have to wait a day or two before I water this again. So if you're not quite sure, I sell these at the home improvement store. Not very expensive, maybe $10, $15. No battery, no nothing, and that will help you as well. So if you have to get one of those, don't be embarrassed. Just make sure you don't kill your plants. You got a lot of money and time invested. Sometimes it's proper to have the right tools to make sure you don't make any mistakes, and then at that point you can adjust your sprinkler. I'm hand watering right now. I'll eventually get my sprinkler system installed in the next few weekends, and I'll post a video on that. But video number 3 of my series, sort of a progress report, as well as how to determine how much water. And these birds. People think chickens are quiet. They're wrong. Okay, quiet. So, little garden update. I hope that helps. If you have any questions or comments, you can post it below. And I hope you're having a great day. See ya.